This is a little bit of a different film for me on YouTube. It's a friend's collection. We're on holiday at the moment, and we were given their model room to sleep in, and it took me a long time to get to sleep every night for this kind of stuff, as you can imagine. Rather like my collection, it's a mixture of classic vintage 60s and 70s toys along with recent stuff. This is my mate Andy's collection, and he's like me. If he sees something in Toys R Us or a normal regular toy shop nowadays, if he likes it, he's not a snob, he'll get stuff. But the bulk of his collection is classic vintage 60s and 70s comic, TV and movie related stuff. At the top there's some of the 1970s Power Records, Planet of the Apes comics and 45 records, along with in the front figures, very nice set of figures from the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes film. Moving down to the next shelf, and this is what makes it so exciting for me to see. It's lots of variations of stuff. There's a vintage, looks very minty, boxed Dynamite figure from Mego, along with the bearded, ginger-haired Action Jackson, which isn't one I've ever seen with a beard, so that's nice to see. One of the European Big Jim series, Astros, which has got a really nice kind of full, cool, funky spacesuit, obviously what Andy's into, same as me. The black Action Jackson, which is nice for me to see. I've not got one of those, so that's really cool. Riding on one of the dinosaurs from King Kong. So as I say, that's a prime example of a nice mixture of recent toys, which are just cool. The Daniel Craig figure from the Golden Compass. An Ed Straker head from UFO, which I painted for Andy, so it's nice to see that that's being appreciated, although he's got to pull his finger out and get a costume and body done for that. That's an ape at Shea Stadium, as I like to think of them. One of those knockoff Astro Ape type figures, but they're pretty collectible in their own right now. Moving down onto a nice classic Mego shelf with a mixture of some customs as well. That's a custom Kirk Allen, which looks really nice, and a classic Type 2 Superman, but again with a more recent figure as well, the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, which is really nice looking, magnetic Batman, and Andy's original Kiss figures and albums from when he was a kid. They've stayed in an incredible collection in condition there, and very nice Sonny and Cher. So that's a nice cross section of Mego stuff. Moving down onto another one of Andy's interests, some of the Anderson shows. Space 1999, but again Andy, like me, not worried about having some modern stuff mixed in with the old. So there's some of the classic TV toy Space 1999 figures. Did get a bad rap because their bodies were terrible, but the heads were really nice. The costumes are fantastic. So these are very much as Mego should or could have done them in the 70s, but they kept the line very small. Some more recent Doctor Who stuff, a bit of Batman, some Hulk stuff as well. So again, a nice cross section, which is what I like to see. Some very top condition Star Wars figures there, carded and in the display cards as well outside to protect them. Some loose ones, and again some very nice carded figures from Star Wars and Empire. Carded Chewbacca there, it's nice. Moving up, some more recent Planet of the Apes, some custom figures as well, which is stuff that Andy's very keen on, like myself. Very nice, more modern sideshow section of Planet of the Apes, with a big lawgiver statue in the middle there, really looking quite impressive, and pretty much in scale with the smaller figures. A custom Brent there, so he's looking good. The classic Brent there, Taylor, and a Caesar at the back, with a Power Records Star Trek album. On to another mainstay of the 70s, Big Jim from Mattel. Kind of a hunky, handsome, macho explorer sportsman, which does bring a grin to my face, I must be honest. But as a kid I never looked upon Mark Strong, as he was called in England, as anything more than just kind of a heroic sports adventurer. But I'm sure there was a little bit more going on in the minds of the people that were putting him together back then. Very, very nice Type 1 Mego Tarzan as well. Again, some Space 1999 stuff, some more modern stuff as well, the Mugato, but nice to display, nice to look at. Some classic Megos in there, plus a little bit of custom. Beautiful Green Arrow there. I mean, everybody wants one of them, I know I do. Andy's a lucky fella, he's got a real deal one. Type 1 Spider-Man, which is nice. Joker, I mean, there's not really a lot more you can say about this stuff apart from it's really lovely. Big Jim again, with some interesting Whitman activity books behind. Stuff that we didn't have in England for Mark Strong, we just had the comic stripping looking. And a European Big Jim with the darker hair and the grip hands as opposed to the karate chop hands. And some more Planet of the Apes. So again, showing classic and more modern stuff. So that looks really, really nice. Moving swiftly across to primarily Mego Planet of the Apes stuff. I mean, this really is one of the best displays I've ever seen of this stuff. And I'm not just saying it, I mean, it was quite exciting to know that I was going to be sleeping in the same room as this stuff. You got the tree house with a variety of figures, doubles of figures there. A lot of play sets are displayed and they look a little bit dead, but Andy's got bundles and bundles of figures here, carded and loose, just to bring the things to life. One of that may not come out in the film, one of the metallic-y green paint turns on Cornelius there, or perhaps, is that a type 2 or a type 1, Andy?
2.
2, so that will probably be looked upon as a Galen. The variations on Soldier 8 tunics, the snake skin, the purple, the dark blue, the mitten hands and without the mitten hands, the UK rock launcher there, which is nice to see. Another lovely Galen with a nice minty looking Verdun in the cage. Moving across here to the Fortress playset with some nice customs in there as well, so that's good to see. A couple of different variant astronauts, including a naked one, which is always good. Don't you just love a naked astronaut? But the more purpley costume, the blue, one of them caught in the throne trap there with a nice box to go with it. Some carded figures there, looking very nice, which you can't fault. And some custom boxes and custom figures too. And the final couple of the cabinets, Planet of the Apes of course, boxes. So this is the real deal stuff in my opinion. Some lovely looking Conquest customs, but then a bit of Doctor Who again. As I say, Andy not frightened to have modern stuff. It's not all money for him. It's whether it's worth $1,000 or $10. If he likes it, he buys it and enjoys it, which is what it's all about. Again, bit of Jerry Anderson, some very nicely done in the Gold Key comic style Adar Planet of the Apes kits. A battering ram at the bottom there, more ape stuff. Moving on to the final section, some Land of the Lost, some gorgeous animated Planet of the Apes custom figures. I mean, these are some of the best I've ever seen. Not the type of figure that a lot of people want to take a bash at, but Andy went in there because obviously Planet of the Apes is his thing, and he pulled off some wonderful work there. And a really, really cool kind of landing party set, or a crash landing party set of TV astronauts from Planet of the Apes and movie, as well as Escape from the Planet of the Apes astronauts. But there's nothing really to fault these. These are absolutely spot on. Very much in the style that Mego would have done it, while still capturing a lot of the look of the show itself and the films. Very, very nice Starsky and Hutch figures. Now, aren't these exactly what you really wanted as a kid from Starsky and Hutch figures? You got the two classic ones either side, but in the middle some very, very nicely done customs and some original vintage TV guides. And finishing off with a little bit more Doctor Who. But I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg. Andy, I know, has got stuff packed away in his cellar and cabinets and storage places. This is just his display stuff. So I felt privileged to see this, and I just hope I can sneak some out of the house without him knowing. But thanks for watching everybody, and tune in for some more stuff maybe another time. So this is Martin signing out from Andy's collection.